When a woman dances with a man, she's able to experience following. But following in dancing is not passive submission, and in this picture, I think there's a great lesson about our relationship to God. Lead and follow in dance is a constantly engaged experience. Leading itself is mostly listening and waiting, and then timing the leads precisely and without delay. What this means is that good leading is listening and, well, learning to follow. Likewise, following itself is not just an act of passive submission or obedience. It's a play, a cooperation, and it certainly requires taking responsibility. The woman's role in dance is to be sure of her body weight and commit to her steps. And the man's role is to be sure of what needs to happen and when, so that her movements can be amplified and trust can emerge in the partnership. I've studied these things for many years, and today I truly believe that, like all other things in life, dancing reflects the glory of God. The Bible reminds us many times that those faithful to Jesus are His bride. This was true in the Old Testament, just as it is true now in the New Testament. In fact, many see that Adam and Eve, the first husband and wife, were a picture of the ultimate husband and wife which was revealed in Jesus and His faithful believers, or the bride. Husbands are told in the Bible to love their wives just as Christ loves the body of believers, or His church, and wives are told to follow their husbands just as we who believe follow Christ. Yet with Jesus we have a perfect lead, one who is in total control and knows the timing because He created the music, and He also has our absolute best interest in mind at all times. On top of that, He will never let us fail, just like a good leader knows how to make any girl he dances with shine on the floor regardless of her skill or her shortcomings. In partner dancing, we have a phrase to describe the ideal between masculine and feminine, and I believe it is truly profound. On face value, it seems pretty cute and old school, yet within this little phrase are hidden many gems of wisdom. The lady is the picture, and the man is the frame. What this means is, in dancing, the follower does not submit mindlessly to the leader. Rather, she surrenders having to control the next step. Commitment, participation, energy, and effort are all her responsibility. Yet, by not having to worry about what's next, which the leader has to do, this active surrender expands the present moment to a new level through trust. In the dance of life God has choreographed for each of us, we must remember that His lead is perfect and He is the one worrying about what comes next. This, however, does not preclude us from taking responsibility with what God has given us. In the modern age, surrender is more akin to a mindless release of all will and desire. And this is because the modern age has been influenced by things like transcendental meditation, yoga, non-dualism, and Eastern mysticism. This type of meditation and surrender lies in opposition to what the Bible speaks of when it speaks of meditation. Throughout the Scriptures, where we're asked to meditate on anything, it's a command and an encouragement to use what God has given us, our minds. We must actively pursue God's face and meditate on His words, just as a good follower engages her attention to the partner she is dancing with. We must connect to what God has given us in this life with gratitude daily, just as a good follower brings joy to her dance and her dance partner because she's grateful for the moment. We must live and engage this life because God has a special plan for each of us that glorifies Him through our service to others. Just as each follower has her own story to tell because everybody's body and style is different, so too do we each have unique skills and experiences given to us by God that are designed to help others, help ourselves, and ultimately get us closer to our Creator. In my many years of competitive dancing, I realized a simple thing that I will share with you now. Life is not a competition, it's a performance. It is a dance, and we must perform that dance with excellence. This is where the most joy is, embracing what God in His infinite love and wisdom has created for you. Yes, there is a plan. Yes, it was created before time began, and yes, you cannot fail because God works all things for the good for those who love and trust in Him. And yes, the Bible testifies to all of these truths. Yet, even when you know your choreography perfectly, it still has to be performed when the music comes on, doesn't it? We are in this performance right now, and the question is, are you listening to the music? A good dance is always a combination between the skill of the leader and the willingness of the follower. We know that the leader of this cosmic dance is perfectly skilled and good. What then remains is whether we are willing. This is the dance of life.